Hi, is it Karen?
Hi, Kate.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
Good, very well, thank you.
Yeah, Karen, yeah.
Hi, Karen.
Yeah, I can switch on my video so you can see me.
Yes, me too. Sorry. Sorry, it looks like a bit dark. I don't have natural windows, natural light coming into my office.
Yeah, yeah, I've got a spotlight on me, and that's the only light I have, so.
Oh, shame. Yeah. How are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm okay, and you?
Good, yeah, good. You know, we're carrying on.
I know.
We have to be positive, I suppose, you know.
Yeah, just take it day by day, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's just, I think, you know, the start of this year, I don't know, it was just a bit of a, you know, I don't know if it's just, I heard the other day there's something called pandemic fatigue that everyone is suffering from. So I don't know if it's just the lack of alcohol on New Year's that sort of unsettled us or what it was. But
yeah, it just doesn't feel like a new year. It just feels like a continuing, like it just carries on. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, it's you're so right, because normally, you know, our year starts off with such a bang. You know, we do an international trip to India, you know, either sort of end of Jan, beginning of Feb. And normally there's so much hustle and bustle and all of that. And you know, now, like you say, it's like a continuation. And you know, even on the domestic side, things are a bit quieter. So I think, you know, I feel almost like this is the end of the year, not the beginning of the year, which is not helping me either, being a bit confused.
I know.
Yeah.
Gosh, we'll get there. You know what? Like I say, day by day, and as long
Exactly.
as we try, you know, we all have our off days. Welcome, everybody. I can see we've got a few participants on already. Welcome.
Yes,
You're
yes.
welcome to join the conversation. So we, you know, take it day by day. You need to pre-plan, obviously, but you can't plan
Yes.
too hard, I suppose, because it's just going to kill us.
Yeah, look, I think
So,
that's
yeah,
the thing, you know.
yeah,
You know, I think we've just got to you know, be positive, and you know, it's yeah, not patient, I suppose, you know, patience. I find people are very short on patience these days, you know, like when
mm,
you in traffic, although I mean the traffic's even, you know, from a Joburg perspective, the traffic is much better, but I find people are a little bit less patient, you know, and I
yeah,
think it's you know, I think our generation certainly you know, and even my father, who's 75, you know, he didn't, I mean, he was born at the end of the Second World War.
mm,
So, you know, I don't think we understand patience. I mean, if you think of the people that lived through the world wars, you know, it was 4 years, 5 years,
yeah,
you know, before life actually had any normalcy to it. And I mean,
yeah,
even then, I was reading somewhere where Britain didn't stop rationing, food rationing, until well into like the almost the late 50s, early 60s.
yeah.
So, you know, for us, I think it's just, you know, we were not wired that way, you know, to be patient.
Yeah, we're not used to it, I suppose, because we have everything
No,
always working fast. So,
we
you
do.
know,
We live in a world of instant gratification. You know,
yeah,
everything we can be done at you know, electronically, which
mm,
you know is fantastic. You know, we don't have to go and oh, sorry, I switched my video off there. We don't have to go and stand in a queue in the bank, you
yeah,
know, or you know, and I think that has just changed how we view time. You know,
yeah,
and I don't think it's helped us, you know, necessarily during, you know, this COVID pandemic, where,
yeah.
you know, everything else has slowed down. The whole world has slowed down, and you know, it's our minds that are not playing ball.
I know
Oh,
it's not
all these
easy, but
people. Shame. I would love to say I recognize all of these names, and my apologies
yeah.
that I don't. But this is awesome.
Yeah, it's great, Joel. I'm glad they're all coming on, and we'll obviously have much more coming on. What we can
Oh
do,
no, that's
maybe
fine.
let's just, I'm going to quickly make you host,
Oh,
and
awesome.
just quickly,
Thanks,
if we can
Karen.
see if we can share your screen, so we can just test before we
Fantastic.
start.
Yeah, no.
Because
That's
this
always a
is
good thing.
today, there's no Angela, so I'm doing it on her behalf. So I'm just
Oh,
listening as we
sorry.
go along. Do
Awesome.
you want to change host to Kate? Yes. So you should be able to
And
be
I put
host if
Janice
you're
and
free.
also we have such a thing with the Zoom. Shame. Janice is in the office with me, so she's actually just sitting sort of adjacent to me. So that's why
Okay.
she's had to mute herself. But you know, otherwise, you know, she can sit in the same office with me, but we can't sit too close, and then I've got to have a mask, and then I start getting all claustrophobic and
Claustrophobic, yeah, I know.
I
Yeah, I
know.
think that most people are rotating between the office and from home. So
Okay.
yeah, and that's what we're doing. There we go. So we can see. Okay, awesome. So you can
Okay,
see
so that's
everything. So
good.
at least it's working. Okay, awesome.
Okay, so that's sort of you working, and is that sort of on a rotational basis, or is it sort of, you know,
Um,
up to the individual whether they want to be home based or office
I
based?
think like for most people, you know, we try to keep the numbers down in the office, so to
Yes.
have the social distancing. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think, you know, sometimes you have to see somebody, and although it's from a distance, you want to see them, and we go in. But yeah, we rotate, and lots of our people are set up at home and working from home, pretending like they're in the office. So, you know, it just shows
Yeah.
you with technology how things are awesome, how things change. So,
Yeah,
uh,
no, I mean, sure, it's been great actually. And I mean, it's certainly a very productive way of working. You know,
yeah.
I mean, in the past, if I think of, you know, how many hours the sales team would spend on the road just getting to the appointments, you know, and, you
Mm,
know, battling traffic and, now, they're able to do so many more calls because they're not, sitting, in traffic. So, so I think, there have been some great things to come out of it. We also came back to the offices in September last year. Well, because we opened the lodges in August. So I came back to the office because our offices we're not a large company or office like you've got. And our finance team, a lot of people still work from home, but just as a sort of support to reservations, I've come back to the office. And then I have Janice with me twice a week. Otherwise, I think I'd go a bit crazy because there's no one on this side of the office. Rez isn't it on the other side. But it's I don't know. It's one of those things. I think the whole industry's landscape is going to have changed. And we'll just have to go with the flow.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. We if you're looking at the trends, I think trends are going to change.
Definitely.
Africans are traveling more locally. We want more of them to travel more locally. So it's just, being affordable to them if they can afford it or not.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I think it's always been one of the things that, I find quite strange with some of my friends who don't work in the industry is, they're very well traveled internationally, but they know very little of their own country or Southern Africa, like they haven't been to Zimbabwe or Botswana. And, I think it is great. I think hard on the agents like yourselves, where your outbound travel must, like how our international visitors are a core part of our business, your outbound travel is a core part of your business, because obviously you can certainly make a lot more money on a big outbound, 14-day holiday, skiing holiday in the Alps or something like that. So, it's I think, we have to get the balance back to a certain degree. But, we are certainly so appreciative of the support that we've received, from the domestic market. And, it's strange us saying that because we've always worked in the domestic market. The domestic market for us has been, part of our strategy. We issue rates for it. And over the years, we've definitely seen how it's become a larger part of the business is, in certain properties. And a property like Clifftop, for example, it far outweighs the international business. But, like everything, there's just got to be the balance,
We'll have today we'll have some inbound consultants also joining us because we're inviting the whole group. So it's a nice range of, obviously outbound and inbounds.
Fantastic.
And consultants that will join the training. So, hoping that obviously we'll have some more inbound clients coming in.
Look, it will come, it's like everything else. It's just, I mean, for the world to have been hit by something like this, I mean, it is unprecedented when I say in our lifetime. And I mean, people say, oh, but the Spanish flu, but they didn't have, the world wasn't the way it is now. Travel wasn't, people weren't traveling for holidays like they are now. So I think, it's just, we have to have that magical word called patience, and
if our bank accounts can afford it.
Well, this is the thing. It's not me that needs the patience. It's the bank manager. My bank manager needs to have patience with me. But we'll get there. Cool. Karen, you must just tell me when you're comfortable for me to start.
I can see it's 11:01, and we already have 46 participants. So
wow, awesome.
So welcome, Kate. Kate is from Extraordinary. We're very lucky and fortunate to have her with us today, joined by Janice, and Kate's going to obviously talk to us about their collection, and we're looking forward to it, Kate. So the floor's over to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone who has joined us this morning. We really appreciate your time, and I would like to just say a very big thank you to Thompson's for all of the support that we've received, you know, from last year, and that it's been absolutely fantastic. I'm going to start, I am going to send this presentation on to Karen and Angela, and what we can do is if anyone's got any questions, you can maybe put them in the chat, but I'll try and leave some time for some questions afterwards. Okay, so let's kick off. So I'm going to kick off with our hotel in Cape Town, the Cape Milner. And we are very privileged to have a lovely luxury boutique hotel that for me is in the heart of Cape Town. It's the part of Cape Town that I love. You know, we say that we are a touch of class, and that we're sophisticated, and that we've got the majesty of Table Mountain as our backdrop. And that really is what the Cape Milner is all about. You know, we are within a stone's throw of some of the major tourist attractions or places that people want to go to in Cape Town. You know, we are close to the airport. We've got underground off-street parking, which is quite a plus for any city hotel. We've got a lovely pool area, you know, outdoor seating area, as well as our glass lounge. So it's a lovely city hotel where guests can relax, and it's a great base for them to explore all that the Cape has to offer. Also, just a quick reminder on what we're doing in the SA resident market at the moment is that we are doing children under the age of 12 stay free of charge, or we've got a pay 2 stay 3. They're not combinable, but you know, it really is at the moment the Cape Milner, we're offering exceptional value for money there. Okay, so this is a lovely picture of our glass lounge area where people can relax. They can have light lunches, and our bar area is there. That's the shot of the a view of the swimming pool looking down into the glass lounge. On the left-hand side, those are our standard rooms and suites, and you can see the beautiful Table Mountain that is our backdrop. Okay, we've got a restaurant at the hotel, the 2 on Milner. We serve breakfast and dinner there, as well as lunch. But we are also really within a stone's throw of Kloof Street, and Kloof Street has got some lovely restaurants and very, you know, typical Cape Town, quirky and funky places to be seen and to eat out at. So from an accommodation point of view, we've got 57 rooms in total at the hotel, but that is broken down into our standard rooms. We've got 10 luxury rooms, and we've got 2 suites. So I've just put a picture of all of the 3 room types so you can get an idea of the rooms. They really are spacious. The luxury rooms, as well as the suites, can accommodate children sharing with adults. But with our special, we are offering the children free of charge, even if they do take a second standard room next door to the parents. Okay, so that is Cape Milner. And we really do, you know, we pride ourselves at the Cape Milner on our personalized service. So we very much position ourselves as a luxury boutique hotel. I'm going to move on to our game lodges now, and I'm going to start with Safari Plains. Safari Plains is 5-star, and it's a luxury tented safari experience in the Waterberg, and we are very close to Pretoria. We're 141 kilometers from Pretoria, just outside of Bella Bella. On the map there, you can see the logo of Safari Plains, and you'll see also the Greater Mabula Game Reserve. So we traverse on the Greater Mabula Game Reserve as well as the Safari Plains Reserve for our safaris. So interesting, well, not interesting facts, but you know, things that are good to know and remember when selling Safari Plains is that we do have a safari spa on site. We also have conferencing venues, a conference venue, and Safari Plains does lend itself to small conferences or even conferences where they take exclusive use of the property. The additional activities that guests can do are your quad bike safaris, your horse bike safaris, guided bushwalks. hot air balloon safari with bull harrops, and then there's also golf nearby. We've got 2 golf courses in the vicinity. A great unique selling point for us is that our family tents have got a separate room that accommodates 2 children sharing with 2 adults. And we take children sharing right up to the age of 18. And we actually charge a child rate between the age of 6 and 18 years. So great value of money, great value for money for families. Okay, so this is a picture of our swimming pool area. And it is overlooking the waterhole and the Safari Plains Reserve. We have got new furniture, which is arriving today, new outdoor deck furniture and umbrellas. And we've recently just had the pool resurfaced. So the outdoor area is really looking lovely at the moment. Okay, so this is a picture of our guest area. We've got a lovely lounge and bar area, as well as a restaurant. We also do outdoor dining on the deck area as well, weather permitting. Now, from a point of view of obviously people traveling during COVID at the moment, we do practice social distancing. So guests are all checked in individually in the lounge area, so very well spaced out. All of our properties have got COVID protocols in place, and these COVID protocols are available on the websites. Okay, so this is a luxury tent, and I'm sorry, I will add it in before I send the presentation, but Janice reminded me that I should put in there that the luxury tents all come with a lovely outdoor sala area, and it really is a very romantic spot. So great for anybody who's booking a honeymoon couple or couple who's maybe celebrating a special occasion. So the luxury tent, this is a picture of the luxury tent. The luxury tents just really have a greater footprint because of the outdoor sala area, and then they have the thatch covering over the tent. But the patio furniture and the inside of the tents are identical between the safari tent and the luxury tent. Okay, so here we've got 3 pictures. The top left-hand picture is a picture of the inside of the tents, and even the luxury tents and the safari tents are identical and with the same amenities like air conditioning, fan, mini bar, etc. The bathrooms in the tents, there is a separate shower, bath, and toilet, and that is the same throughout all of the tents. Our family tents, the second bedroom has got 2 twin beds, and they also have their own access into the bathroom area. We also do have 3rd person sharing and 4th person sharing rates as well. Okay, so this is a picture dining under the stars. So this we do as our bush dinner. It's away from the lodge, and we would do this for FIT guests, weather permitting, and it is very popular with our conference groups, also for our leisure groups when they take exclusive use of the lodge. Okay, on safari. As I mentioned, we do have, we are able to traverse on the Greater Mabula Game Reserve, and that offers a Big 5 safari experience, as well as there's cheetah on the Mabula Private Game Reserve as well. At Safari Plains, your guests will enjoy a morning and an afternoon safari. With regards to children under the age of 6, they would go on a kiddies bumble after breakfast. They would not join the normal safaris, and then the parents could also join them on the kiddies bumble. The kiddies bumble takes place on the Safari Plains Reserve, which is not Big 5, and that is why we're able to do the smaller children on safari there, and also take them off the vehicle and show them some interesting things. Okay, I'm going to move on to Mabula Game Lodge. So Mabula Game Lodge is about 7 kilometers further than Safari Plains. So it's about 150 kilometers from Pretoria. It really is an easy 2.5-hour drive from Johannesburg. We've also got, Big Five safari experience, safari spa, conference facilities. Mabula is larger than Safari Plains, so it has got more of a safari resort feel to it. We've got a great play area for the children that's situated at the swimming pool area. And, it really does lend itself to families and to leisure groups and conferences. Although I must say last year, we certainly saw a great increase in just the number of couples coming through to Mabula. And I think this was because of the price point. And they've really have enjoyed their stay. So really, it's a property for all of your guests, all of your markets. It is just the 4-star safari experience, and Safari Plains is our 5-star safari experience. Okay, this is our lovely outdoor deck area where guests can relax, and also if they want to have their breakfast and lunch outdoors, they are able to do so. We've got a lovely reception area with a lounge area for the guests. We've also got at Mabula the ability for guests to do a pre-check-in electronically. And this is a great thing to make sure that your guests are doing, as this will certainly make for their check-in time to be a lot less. It enables them to fill in the questionnaire that we need completed. This is our restaurant area, and this was refurbished in 2018. So I'm not sure. I know we did a couple of educational trips in 2018 and 2019 after it was refurbished, and it really is a lovely restaurant area. We also have dining under the stars at our Boma, which is situated at the lodge. And this we also do sort of 3 or 4 times a week, weather permitting. And it really is a great experience. The children in particular love it. They fry marshmallows around the fire pit, and also they do stokbrood. So a great family experience. Okay, so at the beginning of last year, Mabula Game Lodge started what was going to be a major refurbishment of all of the rooms situated at the lodge. So that would have included the 47 lodge rooms, as well as the 40 bush time rooms that are part of the timeshare. We did complete the refurbishment, but just of the 47 lodge rooms. And that is why we then had a change in our room types. So we've got the suites, we've got 3 suites, we've got superior rooms, and then we've got the bush time rooms, which weren't refurbished. Okay, so this is a picture of a superior room with a sleeper couch. And this is where we would accommodate the families. So we would have our 2 adults and 2 children under the age of 12. Which at the moment on our SA resident offers, we're doing the 2 children complimentary. We also have other superior rooms without sleeper couches, and these rooms do vary in layout from room to room, but all of the furnishings and the amenities are exactly the same throughout. This is the lovely kiddies play area it's also got a lovely bike track. There's a games room, and certainly during the school holidays and over the long weekends, we've got some lovely long weekends coming up in March and the Easter weekend at the beginning of April. We will also run our Cubs Club children's program as well at Mabula, which is great fun for the little ones. Okay, and this is just a picture on safari with our cheetah. I do encourage all of you to, have a look at the Mabula Game Lodge website, and especially under the conservation tab. It will really go into detail and highlight all of the conservation projects that we are involved with, on the Greater Mabula Private Game Reserve. And there is things like that the guests can also do, like the Ground Hornbill project, which is very educational for South Africans who I think, you know, don't necessarily get that much involved in what's happening in conservation in South Africa. You know, the international guests are very, they want to know what you do on your reserves, etc. And at Mabula, there are countless conservation projects. You know, the cheetah that we introduced in 2015, this is part of the you know, a worldwide breeding project with cheetah. So if you do have guests who are interested, all of our information is on our website. Okay, moving on to Kwafabezi Tented Safari Camp. Now, Kwafabezi it's so unique. So this is situated on the Mabula Private Game Reserve. So your guests would arrive at the reception for Mabula Game Lodge. They would do their check-in, and then the safari guide would then take them on a safari vehicle to Kwafabezi, which it's about a 25-minute drive from Mabula. We've only got 5 rooms, 5 tents at Kwafabezi, so it is a very intimate glamping experience. It's not luxury tented accommodation like Safari Plains, but it's incredible value for money. And, you know, we do a lot of family groups that take out the lodge exclusively, and it does lend itself to that because our rooms can't accommodate children sharing with adults. But really and truly, I mean, I think my sentence at the top of that slide sort of sums it up. You really do feel like you are so close to the bush and to the wildlife whilst you're staying at Kwafabezi. Again, it has guests have the opportunity to go through to the spa at Mabula. They can do some of the additional activities that we have available on the reserve as well. The tents are comfortable, and really it's, yes, sorry. Oh, sorry, I thought someone had a question. The tents are extremely comfortable. They are electrified, but there is no air conditioning, and there is an ensuite bathroom with bath and shower in the bath. Okay, moving on to Klooftop. Okay, so we've covered the 3 lodges that are the closest to Johannesburg in our portfolio. They are all in the Waterberg area, malaria free, and really work extremely well for those weekend breakaways. We are flexible with regards to our minimum 2-night stay requirement over weekends. So, you know, if you do have a guest who can only break away for 1 night, please do come through to the reservations office on that. Okay, moving along to Klooftop exclusive Safari Hideaway. So now we're going a little bit further from Johannesburg. We're going into the Welgevonden Private Game Reserve. And that is about a 3-hour drive from Johannesburg. So that is just a map of the reserve. The guests staying at Klooftop would arrive at the East Gate, which is the first gate that you get to once you go through Modimolle. They would leave their vehicle at the gate, and we would be there to fetch them and take them to the lodge. So it's quite important that when booking guests at Klooftop, that we do have an estimated time of arrival for them at the gate, that we have a contact cell number for them, and that they are reminded to give the lodge a call once they have passed Modimolle, gone through Modimolle, so that we can make sure that our safari guides are at the gate waiting for them. It's a fantastic reserve. It's a very different reserve. You'll see from the picture that I'm going to show you now, the scenery is very dramatic in the Welgevonden. It's a great big 5 safari experience. And we've got a lovely, small, intimate lodge with only 8 rooms. Now, this is very important. Watch this space. We have just embarked on a refurbishment of the lodge. We have completed the guest areas. We closed the lodge for the last 10 days in January to do the guest areas, and we've made a start on the rooms, which will be completed by the middle of March. So I'm not showing that many slides on Clifftop because our images are going to change, and we will be arranging educationals for later on to get as many of our loyal supporters through to the lodge so they can see the changes. Okay, but this is a picture for me that really lets people understand how wonderful this lodge is. It is literally built on the edge of a cliff. Hence the reason we don't take children under the age of 12. But it's a beautiful lodge. There's so many different areas that you can go and sit and be by yourself, that even though you at 100% occupancy with 16 other guests, you really do feel like you are in this magical place by yourself. Clifftop is extremely popular with honeymooners. We get a lot of repeat guests there, and a lot of couples who are celebrating wedding anniversaries, special birthdays, etc. So I'm going to end Clifftop on this slide showing some of the safari pictures, but we will definitely set up another training session or just a quick session where I will show you all of the pictures of the new lodge once we've got those. Little baby elephant, they are my favorite. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Kruger. So I think our Kruger lodges are quite, you are quite familiar with them. But, for people that haven't necessarily had a chance to go there or do an educational there, this map is a great way of understanding exactly where they're located and what we mean by private concession. So what we mean by private concession is that we are inside the Kruger National Park. We have got 10,000 hectares that is ours. Only our vehicles will drive on those 10,000 hectares. There are no tarred roads in the concession. Our vehicles, however, can access the tarred roads outside of the concession. So we are situated sort of central Kruger. So we are lucky enough to have access from both Paul Kruger Gate and Orpen Gate. For clients that are flying from Cape Town or who want to fly from Johannesburg, Skukuza Airport or Hoedspruit Airport, the driving time to get to the lodges is more or less the same. If your guests are self-driving from Johannesburg, it is about a 7-hour drive, bearing in mind that once they enter either at Paul Kruger Gate or Orpen Gate, they've got about a 2 to a 2.5 hour drive inside of the park due to the speed limits in Kruger. So it is advisable to, let them know that, the length of the driving time. Another thing that I really would like to mention is with all of our lodges, we put on our important information document that we send out. Please do not follow your GPS. Your GPS will take you on the quickest route, but not the best route. And that applies for all of the lodges. It really is best to follow the directions. Okay. I'm going to start with Hamilton's tented camp. So Hamilton's tented camp is really unique. It's one of the very few tented camps in the whole Greater Kruger area. It is a luxury safari experience. We've got butler service, and it really transports the guests back in time, very much to that whole out of Africa look and feel. And, Hamilton's is you know, for South Africans as well as internationals, I think definitely is a bucket list, you know, destination. Again, what Kruger offers is a real wilderness safari experience. I mean, Kruger is a magnificent place. Our lodges are really in the wilderness here. Hamilton's, there are no fences. We've got beautiful views of the river, which is flowing at the moment because of all of the rain that we've had, and thanks to Cyclone Eloise. But this picture really just allows you to imagine just the stillness that you feel and the calmness that you feel when you're at these lodges. The rooms are extremely spacious at Hamilton's. The tents are air conditioned. We've got mosquito nets. We've got a lovely outdoor deck area, and we've got an ensuite bathroom and an outdoor shower as well. So that's just the view from one of the room decks overlooking the river. And what's quite unique about Hamilton's is that to access your rooms, you are walking on timber walkways because the tents are elevated off the ground, and it really is a very special experience. We do our sundowner stops, and from time to time we'll do what we call a specialized stop, especially now that we're allowed to serve alcohol again, and this is just a gin stop that we had set up for the guests that were in-house. Okay, so again, each of the 6 tents is spaced out along with views overlooking the river. So this is a picture of when the riverbed is dry. So at Hamilton's, at any time, you've got a maximum of 12 guests, and that is 6 guests per vehicle. Children from the age of 12 years and older are welcome, but they would be accommodated in their own room. Okay, moving on to Mbali Safari Lodge. So still within the same concession, Mbali Safari Lodge is larger than Hamilton's. We've got 12 rooms at Mbali, and the rooms all have their own private plunge pools. We've got ensuite bathrooms with separate bath and shower. At Mbali, we do take children from the age of 8, and we can accommodate in the room sharing with the parents. So Mbali is very much your family focused lodge out of the 3 lodges in Kruger. This is our lovely entrance area. We've got a lovely lounge area where guests can relax, outdoor deck area, and also indoor dining. We also have a boma at Mbali Safari Lodge, where guests would also do dinner 3 or 4 times a week, weather dependent. So this is just a picture of guests on safari, just to show you the sort of, complete wilderness that we've got there. We can off-road for Big 5 sightings at the 3 lodges as well. This is our swimming pool area, overlooking the riverbed. And then on the opposite side of the river, we've also got a water hole that is frequented quite frequently by lots of animals. So all 3 of the lodges are fully inclusive. So it's including all of your meals. This is the afternoon, the high tea setup that guests get to enjoy before they leave for their afternoon safari. And we've obviously got selected beverages included in the rates as well. So moving on to Hoya Hoya Safari Lodge. Hoya Hoya is so unique. We've also only got 6 rooms at Hoya, and again, we don't take children under the age of 12. So Hoya Hoya and Hamilton's are very much your adult or couple-focused lodges. And Mbali lends itself more to families traveling. This visitor, we have lots of elephants visiting, and because of the water hole that is just a little bit, it's been cut off. It's just where the tree is on the left-hand side. So this is the entrance to Hoya Hoya, and Hoya Hoya is very unique and very different. When the lodge was built, it was built along the lines of the Tsonga traditional sort of beehive huts. And we've tried to incorporate a lot of the local culture into the lodge. We've got a lovely outdoor deck area that's got private salas where guests can relax. They can also have their meals. And we've also got a lovely indoor dining and lounge area as well. This is our swimming pool area. So all three of the lodges do have a main swimming pool area for the guests, but it's only in Bali that has the private plunge pools. But what a view when you're having a swim, to be able to overlook such pristine wilderness. And you'll see Ellie's there at all times during the day. This is the lovely lounge area, and you can see we've incorporated a lot of sort of traditional art, etc. Just so that, you know, this lodge we carry with the unique theme throughout. The rooms at Hoya Hoya, they are circular. They are air conditioned. They come with mosquito nets, tea, coffee making facilities, and an ensuite bathroom with a bath and an outdoor shower. Okay, on safari, and I mean, we've got Facebook pages for all of our lodges. And I mean, the wildlife sightings have been phenomenal. Not too great during the very wet weather, but really and truly, Kruger has to be on every local's bucket list. You know, there are a lot of South Africans who travel to Kruger every year. You know, they stay in the Sandparks accommodation. And, you know, it's a great way to finish a great trip around Kruger is with 1 or 2 nights at one of our luxury lodges. And with our specials at the moment, I think, you know, certainly for the time being, well, up until the end of September and possibly further, you know, these lodges are certainly affordable for the local travelers. Okay, so I've come to the end of my presentation. And I think, Karen, we should have time for questions so that, you know, I thought, you know, it's always a lot when you present, you know, more than one property for everybody to absorb all of this information. So I think if anyone's got questions, please ask them, because I think that's sometimes a better way for you to get an understanding of the products.
Yeah, Kate, I think these properties are beautiful. So a nice selection of lodges over. And thank you for a very informative training session. Are there any questions from anybody? I mean, you covered everything, so maybe there are.
Sure. And it doesn't matter what kind of question it is,
Yeah.
or anything like that. It's, you know, or if you think of a question later, you're more than welcome to pop either Janice or myself an email. You know, I will send the presentation through. You know, it's, I know it can be, actually, I take my hat off to all of you. I mean, I don't know how you keep tabs on all of the product you have to work with. And, you know, hopefully this year we will be able to do more educationals. You know, certainly with the refurbishment we've done at Clifftop, we need to get people there to see it. But, you know, if you've got any questions with regards to, you know, logistics of access, you know, at any time you're welcome to email us or, you know, give us a call. Like I said, you know, probably one of the most important things around access to our lodges is not following a GPS. You know, we've put together, so reservations will send you an information document that you can send straight on to your clients that have got the directions, as well as, you know, any important information, especially for Kruger, because Kruger, our properties, you accessing through the main Kruger gates. And I'm sure you are all aware of, you know, the opening and closing times of those Kruger gates. But what you do need to bear in mind is that because our lodges, the driving time between, say, Auckland and Bali being an hour and a half, you have to enter the Kruger Gate 2 hours before their closing time. So those are just some things just to, you know, sort of bear in mind. But I mean, Thompson's, we've worked with you for sure. I've been involved with these properties that I've presented on for 15 years, believe it or not, actually 16 years. And we've worked with Thompson's, you know, throughout. And you guys have been such a fantastic support for us, and, you know, all of the marketing that you do for us is so appreciated. I can't tell you how excited everyone was on the 7th of August when we said we will open the lodges last year. You know, it's I went to Mabula on about the 8th of August. I had taken a journalist to Safari Plains, and I was talking to Isaiah, who's our assistant reserve manager at Mabula for Lake Kyle. And he was saying it was the first time in his 20 odd years working at Mabula that he'd ever seen the front doors of Mabula closed as you enter. He'd never seen the doors closed before. So and I mean, yes, it's quite a statement for someone who's been there 20 years, you know. And the journalist actually asked him, she said, you know, do you think the animals missed the people? And he said yes. He said that, you know, he said as much as he could, you know, gauge, you know, he couldn't ask them, but he could see, you know, that they after the first, you know, couple of weeks of lockdown, the animals were starting to come closer to the guest areas, like almost like, well, where's everyone? This is not the norm. So, you know, it's we're living in very different times, and for properties and all of that, not having guests is, I suppose, it's a bit like you or not having your agents call you or your clients call you. You know, it's not a great feeling. So thank you so much for all of the bookings that you've sent us in the last 8-9 months, or however long it's been. It feels like it's been 10 years, but I think that's just me. Karen, I don't know if anyone put any questions. Hi.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Johnson.
How are you? Nice
I'm
talking
well.
to you after a long time.
I know.
Because
I
we've done
know.
bookings with Mabula for many years.
I know. It has been so long.
Yeah, Ocean Air Travel. Mabula is still owned by Vijay Mallya?
Mabula is owned by Extraordinary. So all of the properties that all of the properties that I've presented on today are our sort of owned and managed properties with regards to, you know, if not outright ownership, then shareholding ownership here.
Yeah, I know Mabula used to be owned by Vijay Mallya. I just wanted to know.
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah. It's an owned property by Extraordinary. And I mean, Johnson, I mean, like you say, you've been booking it for so many years. We definitely need to, I'm not sure if you Joburg or Durban based, but we need to get you to see
Durban.
it. Okay. Well, we'll have to make a plan, because it's the one lodge that has had so many changes. You know, it's almost every year the product is enhanced. So we actually started in 2019 a project of putting together sort of a book on the history of Mabula. And I mean, I look at some of the pictures that I'd forgotten about, you know, when I first started working with the property, and it really has elevated itself to very much that almost luxury 4-star safari lodge.
It is a popular lodge amongst South Africans.
Yes,
and
you know,
quite
it's
easy to get through from Joburg.
Yes, it really is an easy drive, and I think, you know, it really has always been affordable in the domestic market, and I think even now, you know, it's you know, certainly I think it really is working well with you know, people's price point, and you know, we've been lucky. Last year we had a couple of small conferences that came through. and even from a sort of a corporate perspective, you know, it really is doing well. You know, our conferences are both at Mabula and Safari Plains. You know, we give a safari, one safari a day for the conference delegates to go on. And, you know, it can sort of fit in with their timing. And I think it just really is nice for everyone to get out of the city. You know, especially Joburg. Durban, you've got your beaches, you can go to the Midlands. But I think for us in Joburg, going to be able to get out and go to the bush is quite a treat, you know, not have to go to a shopping mall or something like that. Is that
Thank you.
James I see there? I'm reading names and I do apologize. Is that James from Cape Town?
Oh, yes, Kate, it is. How are you
How are
guys?
you, James?
My goodness. So, really, it's almost
you
surreal.
I
Sitting
know.
here,
I was just
I'm
going to
looking
say, are
at
you
you.
still alive? Are you?
Tell me
Yeah.
about it. No.
Shame, James. But you're keeping well. You're staying safe.
Yes, no, we are, and quite positive for the future. Things are starting
Good.
to pick up, starting to confirm things again. The inquiries are coming in. So, yeah, I think the future is bright. I'm going to have to buy some shades.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, you know, we've got to be positive. And, you know, I think the one thing that sticks certainly in my mind with everything that's happened is that the consumer, you know, the person who travels, they want to travel. You know, nothing's changed there. And if anything, I think they want to do it even more. You know, I think this whole experience has taught people maybe that materialistic things are not as important, and it's about life experiences. And I think people, you know, travel is certainly an experience that everybody wants to be able to go on. You know, it varies from person to person depending on, you know, circumstances. But you know, I think our country is amazing. It's an amazing country. It's a beautiful country. And, you know, even Southern Africa. And, you know, I said to Angela that we will set up a training session on Africa Albedo tourism for the Vic Falls properties. You know, it's just a lot to do all of the properties in one go. And I want to get Wendy Bourne, you know, in on that, although I don't know how much knowledge will be imparted. We'll just be laughing so much. But, you know, it's we are so blessed to live in this beautiful country, and to be able to, you know, access Southern Africa and, you know, all of the islands we've got around that. You know, I think all of these people who maybe spend a lot of time wanting to go to Europe and all of that, you know, I'm hoping that they will take the time and you know, travel around the areas that they can get to now. You know, I certainly you know, I wish that, it's funny, you know, I think we all work in travel, but we probably travel the least out of our friends who are not in the industry, you know, unless it's for work, you know. But you know, I always say to myself, if I win the lotto, you know, I would give up work, not because I don't like work, I love my job, but I would just travel. And I think right now I would spend a lot of that time traveling in South Africa. There's so many places that when, you know, you sort of, you know, we've had time on our hands, you know, during this time. And you like, you know, especially on social media with all of these wonderful groups that have been started in the tourism industry. And you see people promoting their smaller properties and in really these far-flung places, which I'm ashamed to say I didn't even know existed. You know, not that geography was my strong point, you know, but it's I think it's really great that you know, as an industry and as a country, we've come together, you know, to try and promote tourism as much as we have. And so then there's a lot to be thankful for and a lot to be positive for as well. But shame, guys, I don't want to keep you here any longer than you have to. I know you've all got emails and that, but really and truly, Janice and I are here. We've got Donna in Cape Town. James knows Donna very well. So anyone who's based in the Cape Town office can be in contact with Donna there. But really, we are available on our cells. We're available on email, anything that you need. And just really and truly a big thank you to you, to the agents that have supported us. It really does mean the world, not only to Janice and I and Donna and Cindy who sit in sales, but to all of our staff at the lodges, and even to the animals who've missed all of your guests. So thank you very much for all of your time. I really do appreciate it. So lovely to see all of you, not in person, but to feel connected with everybody from Thompson's again.
Right. Thank you, Kate and Janice. We really enjoyed it. So thank you very much. And
It's
we'll
our
speak
pleasure.
to you again about the Africa product. So
Yes, definitely, because I think, you know, that is, you know, it's, I like to do it separately, because
Sure.
it you know, it's a whole different, you know, sort of discussion and training and all of that. And so we'll get that set up, and we'll have Wendy Bourne, and she in herself is worth the price of admission. I can tell you that. I used to hate when I used to have to come and do training in Durban to Thompson's Africa. And if we did it extraordinary in Africa, albeit I always said I had to go first and she had to follow me, because I wouldn't follow her, because then everyone would sleep during my presentation, which, you know, would make me feel very sad. So that's definitely something to look forward to, and for everyone to put in their calendar once we've set a date.
right. Thank you.
Okay, how are you?
It's my pleasure. Hey, how are you, Ashwin?
No, it's Chris.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
How's it
I'm
going?
reading these names. It's going well. It's,
Good.
yeah, we're jogging along.
Yeah. No, I just want to let you know that we have a training set with Africa Orbida
Oh,
for the
okay.
24th of February.
Oh, awesome.
So they're doing
Awesome.
two training for us, Destination
Oh.
Zimbabwe, and then
Oh,
Africa
that's
Orbida at the end.
perfect. Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks, Chris, for letting me know.
Yeah.
No, it's sure. We really, we're just hoping that Zim, you know, I mean, they're not in a hard lockdown at the moment. I mean, they're still, you know, you can fly in. The problem is just the flights at the moment. The access is just a bit problematic. But, you know, hopefully that is all going to sort itself out. You know, I think it's just a matter of time. And because we are so desperate to get those lodges back and you know, full again. But you keeping well, Chris?
No, I'm good. I'm really good. You know, under the circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just remain positive, and that things will
Exactly.
come back soon.
Yeah, no, look, I think it will. I think, you know, it's just a matter of time, and it's just all of this, you know. I think I was chatting to a friend of mine in the UK this morning on WhatsApp. You know, I mean, they've done, I think it's, I don't know how many million vaccinations, but I mean, like he said, I mean, it's 120 million people to be vaccinated. I mean, that's a huge logistical undertaking, you know. But I think that, you know, the minute the air access is back again, I think people will travel even if they haven't been vaccinated. I don't think the vaccine is what people are necessarily waiting for. I think it's just the certainty that you can fly in and fly out again.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
We'll be in touch.
Oh, sorry, James.
I said, thank you so much to you and Denise. We will be in touch.
Perfect. We can't wait. We can't wait. We can't wait to be having our international visitors back. But really and truly, we have been so lucky with our domestic market. And thanks to everybody who works with the domestic market. We know it's not an easy market to work with. We do know that, and we really do appreciate it. It's kept us going, kept us sane, kept me from going completely grey. Awesome.
Right. Thank you, Kate. Thanks, everybody. We'll chat soon.
We'll chat soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.